Yo guys, what's going on? My name is Bailz, and today we are back in Minecraft. Now today, we're not going to bother with a long intro because you know why you clicked on the video. You wanted to spend 100 Minecraft days with this beautiful face. So we did, this is your traditional 100 days of Minecraft. There's a couple of data packs to spice things up, make it a little bit more piratey. But I absolutely love the 100 days, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. So here we go, straight into day one. Now this was probably one of my favorite days out of 100 days, because look at our spawn. A gorgeous little island in the middle of a huge coral reef, and a shipwreck right on the edge. Now honestly, my luck couldn't have been better, because look at the loot we got from this boat. And then on top of that, we found a buried treasure map. And now the buried treasure is actually on the same island. I know, it was absolutely insane. So we mined a tree to get some wood to make an iron shovel, and then we used the iron shovel to go mining for the buried treasure. Now it did take me a couple of attempts, so I finally lined myself up on the buried treasure map right on the X, and then mined all the way down, and we found the buried treasure. And I forgot that bubbles are a thing, so we died right after getting our first diamonds. So after our first hiccup of the 100 days, we got back on track by planting a sugarcane farm and sailed on over to the birch island to gather some logs, because our spawn island had next to no trees on it. Well, whilst we were here, we gathered some food, had a very close call with the skeleton, as you can see here, got me down to 1.5 hearts. That was scary. But it's okay, because after we found another shipwreck, and in said shipwreck we found a buried treasure map, and look at the loot, guys. Another diamond and heart of the sea. At this rate, we're not going to need to go caving for gold or iron, but we did anyways. And we found a geode whilst we were at it, actually. And on day 2 to 4, this happened. Oh my god, no! That was my live reaction, guys. That was pretty heartbreaking. But we headed back to our spawn island, and I wanted to change this whole island into just a farming island. So I needed to replace the sand with dirt. But before we finished that, I made an enchanting table. Now before you ask, nothing happened to that wandering trader, okay? He just left the island, and I don't know where he is now, but I know he's having the time of his life. But we continued on with converting this whole island into farmland, because I wanted a decent source of food. Now, this would have to do for the moment. I know bread isn't great, but you know, we went around and decorated it a little bit more with some rocks, some barrels, some lanterns, and then just continue going around it again. This took quite a while, actually, especially because I didn't have too many seeds, so I was having to harvest at the same time as planting. I got bored on day 15. I went hunting for an axolotl and got the cutest predator. On day 16, we delved down into the mines, had that close call with the creeper, and then we had an even closer call, you might say. We respawned, but then we went mining again and found this skeleton spawner. Now this was going to be great for XP, so I immediately got to converting it into an XP farm. But yeah, we had another little accident with creepers. That seems to be a common theme in this world. And then this happened. I know what you're thinking. It's only day 18. How are your combat skills that good? Guys, I don't know. I think I just have a gift from the Minecraft gods. On day 18 though, we got working yet again on the skeleton spawner. We cleared out this space. It wasn't quite as tidy as I wanted it to be, but we do come back later and clean it up and replace the cobblestone with smooth stone, which we smelted in the furnace. We had to dig out a couple of tunnels so we could actually transport the skeletons, so they would drop all the way down to a little killing chamber right in here. And then we had to put some water sources in place to move the skeletons about and funnel them down. Now there's probably a more efficient way of doing it, but this was just, I kind of made this farm on the fly, so I don't think it was too bad for that. On day 24 we found another shipwreck, and we even found another buried treasure map. Now I searched for a solid while for this buried treasure, and I just couldn't find it anywhere. We eventually gave up and headed back down into the mines, because I wanted at least some resources from the buried treasure, so this was the closest we were going to get. We We gathered some iron, we gathered some coal, and we also went strip mining to see what other resources we could gather. We came across quite a lot of redstone, and we weren't really that rich, especially after we just lost a diamond pickaxe. I wanted to find some more diamonds so that we could get our pickaxe back. And luckily we did. We actually found an 8 vein inside some deep slate, which the diamond deep slate ore block looks so pretty. And then we died again. I've lost count on how many times we died so far, but luckily I managed to get back and grab our diamonds, and I found our iron ore and everything. But then we were mining back up, and my pickaxe broke. And I'm not gonna lie, it was one of the most like embarrassing things that's ever happened to me in Minecraft. I had to use my fist to break my way up to the surface. But as you can see, we got up to the top, made ourselves a new diamond pickaxe, and harvested some of our crops and replanted, and gathered up some beautiful obsidian to make another portal. And boom, we need to go deeper. We got the advancement. Now this was going to be really important for early game XP, because quartz, you know, that's pretty important. And then we died again. So I had to run back to the nether, and yes, as you can see, a little bit difficult. Yes, unfortunately the piglin wore all of my armor, took my tools, and then I accidentally looked at an enderman, and then he killed me, and then we got shot again by a piglin whilst fighting a skeleton. It was an eventful trip to the nether, you guys. It was quite scary. So I gave up on trying to use quartz to get early game XP, and we just went back to the skeleton grinder and got all the way up to 30 on day 30, which I thought was quite a nice coincidence. As you can see here, I was very happy. And we still need to pretty up. That's going to be the spawner room. That is something that has to be done. I did a bit of exploring on day 30 after we just got to 30 levels, and we found some sea pickles and a mending fishing rod. I'm not sure how useful that is, but I mean, I guess we've got it. We also did some more planting and replanting of this farm island thing, and I wanted to sort it out properly so that we had a layer of wheat, a layer of potatoes, and a layer of carrots. We didn't have any beetroot, and I don't know, I kind of think beetroot's a little bit useless in this game. And we also destroyed some of the bamboo which we got from a shipwreck previously. I don't know if I was actually going to use it, but I mean, we've got it if we ever need scaffolding or anything like that. Mainly for decoration purposes though. I don't use scaffolding too much. But there we go, on day 31 we got the fishy business advancement. Most of day 32 was spent gathering logs, but then we did go to another island to harvest some sheep because our spawn island had no sheep on it, so we had no way of getting wool. And then it was time to slowly start replacing some of the grass here with cobblestone. Now it was just the pieces that were exposed to the sort of seafront that I wanted to place cobblestone down on, just so the wall that was going to be the sort of barrier for our cow pen looked like it was properly shoved down into the ground to make it look more secure. I really hope you guys know what I mean, otherwise I just sound like a massive idiot. By day 34 we'd finally got the walls in and the cows in, and we placed the gates down and we were ready to start breeding them. On day 35 however, I got a little bit distracted with these turtles and decided to breed them because, I mean, who doesn't need turtle eggs? They're just generally they're a valuable asset to have in like any farm, because, you know, zombies hate them, piglin hate them, and they're pretty useful for gold farms. On day 35 I decided it was finally time to maybe get building some form of house, because day 35 in a Minecraft world and we've still not got a house. It's honestly, it's shameful. So I know what you're thinking, this doesn't really look like a house right now, but bear with me, okay? We're actually building a dock because I've got a sort of houseboat plan which I'm quite excited to show you guys, but I used up all of our oak logs, so I went and gathered a couple more resources and some logs, and whilst I was at it waiting for the saplings to grow, I harvested the farmland. I then finished harvesting the farmland, and on day 36 I just thought, hey, I've got some spare bone meal from the skeleton farm, so I'm just going to use it on the trees because I desperately need these logs because I want to get a house built. So here you can see me actually filling in our little dock. To round off day 36, we detailed out the dock just a little bit, adding some support beams underneath and some fences along the side, and that just made it look a little bit more wrecked up and worn, you know? And then there was this invisible witch holding llamas, so he obviously had to go. I couldn't have some sort of witch or wizard on my island that I didn't know what they were going to do. It was just unsafe. So I made short work of the problem, let's just say, and then tried to go to sleep and was attacked by a baby zombie. We'll just call it karma, okay? But the llamas were still spitting at me. By day 38, I had actually started on a little houseboat sort of thing. It's actually more of a raft, but we're calling it a houseboat anyway. To round off day 38, we bred up the cows to replenish the herd, and then on day 39, we headed into the nether to gather some quartz for a really basic melon and pumpkin farm. Now, I had no use for them really at the moment because we haven't set up any villager trading, but I just thought, you know, it'll be handy to have, and we can also start building up our little supply to trade with villagers whenever we get them. You may have noticed that I actually built that farm wrong, and I do come back and correct that, but that's on about day 98 I believe. But here we are back on day 41 to breed up the cows once more, because I wanted some leather for bookshelves to make decoration. Yay! There I am, just breeding up some llamas so that I can use them to transport everything that was on our main island back across to our new little houseboat, and just to make it a little bit faster. On day 42 we did some more harvesting of our beautiful little crop island, and then look at all of these creepers on this hill. I had no idea what was going on, but it was like the annual creeper con. They were all there. That's the most creepers I've ever seen in one place, and I built a creeper farm. So I mean, that says something about my rates, but at the same time, that was a lot of creepers. But now, on day 44, it was time for the great moss hunt. We also went and found some sheep in between, because I wanted to bring them back to the island so we had, like, a way to get wool. And there it was, on day 44, the same day we set out to find moss, we found it. But then we died, because we got impaled by a giant on the way back. And I got so panicked. I was like, as long as I get back and grab my moss. I didn't care about any of my gear. I just wanted to know that I had the moss. Honestly, it was so stressful. But yes, we got ourselves 4 moss blocks. And you will see what I'm going to do with them very shortly. After doing a couple of laps round the scene of the travesty, I just wanted to make sure I've got everything, and then we found this drowned, and you'll never guess what he dropped. He dropped this trident. Now, at first, I didn't actually notice it in my inventory, but I noticed it later on in my inventory, and then we spotted this like floating structure off in the distance, and I got so confused. And this is one of the data packs that I was on about, that we added in to spice up this 100 days ever so slightly, and look! There was an old man from the shipwreck, and there we go, I spotted the trident on day 46. And then I did try and give it a go. I'm not that experienced with the trident, so I was trying my hardest. But look at this cool little structure under the shipwreck. It was like the lost city of Atlantis. And then we spotted an actual floating ship up in the distance. Now, this was so cool, and I don't know who made the structure for this data pack, but there was something that I'll point out later that I just thought was absolutely awesome. So after clearing out the rest of the crew and losing my trident, I went and looted the ship, and look at this. They used a fireworks spawner at the top of one of the masts. So it looked like it was shooting off fireworks to like alert nearby ships that I was there. And I just thought that was so creative and so clever. I absolutely loved it. And there was a bunch of mobs that we had to clear out from this. I think this was like an explosive ship. And I eventually got rid of the spawners to stop the mobs spawning. Because I was genuinely debating on making this ship like my new home. And then there was a jungle nearby, so on day 47 we went and raided the jungle temple. I couldn't quite figure out how to open the piston doors, I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bit embarrassing really, isn't it? And we found 2 diamonds, but then on day 48 we got back to the houseboat and replaced the dark oak planks with some moss, which was the plan from the beginning. I just really wanted to put moss there, I don't know why. And then on day 49 we crafted our 3rd diamond pickaxe. The other 2 we just kept losing. But yes, it was very nice to have some diamond tools again. And then on day 49, we started to reconstruct the shipwreck that was on the Perpendula, I believe it's called. I think that's wrong, but there we go. But I wanted to actually see a floating ship off in the distance. And this would be the shipwreck that was on the original island that we spawned on. Now, I'm not that good at building ships, but I really did give it my best go. And then on day 50, we had to face this little raid with lots of pillages. And it was a close call on a couple of times. We almost died. After dealing with the raid, I returned back to the ship and got working on it. Now, I spent ages on this, just trying to make sure the shape was perfect, and I was trying to get it right on one side and then immediately mirror it, and as you can see, I'm swimming back and forth just to check where the blocks are, because obviously ships are pretty symmetrical, and you know, with blocks in Minecraft, it's quite hard to make that smooth shape. So yeah, I really did struggle, but then on day 50, we actually ran out of oak logs, so I had to plant all of our saplings and get some more. Then on day 51, I made this little captain's cabin thing, and I was looking at the stairs, and I just couldn't find a way to make them work well. And this was the best way that I could find that you're just seeing now. So we mirror it across to the other side, but we come back and change it again a little bit later on. Yeah, there we go. So on day 52, we change it all to spruce, just to make it stand out a little bit more, and all of our saplings by then, so then we could harvest them and get some more logs for the ship. To start day 53, we harvested some more of our crops, and then we started gathering more moss. Now, I just got so excited about having moss. I just wanted to place it everywhere, but we didn't actually get round to it on day 53. On day 53, I wanted to start growing my army of chickens. So I rounded them all up into this little hole that I took from the ground. I know, we do support free-range chickens here. I walked around with them for like ages and they were just circling, so I ended up just having to push them into the hole. You know, like this is Sparta sort of style. And then on day 54, we got working on the ship yet again, and we built up this giant mast, and this is what I wanted the moss for. As well as placing it everywhere, which we never actually get round to, but I still want to do. We used it as part of the sail, and then on day 55, we started getting rid of the shipwreck that had been sitting on our island since the very beginning, because we'd now made it afloat. It was now sitting on the ocean where it belonged, you know? And that was pretty exciting, but I also needed some of these logs and planks to use in the ship because it wasn't fully finished and we were still running low on oak planks. It's like a recurring theme in this video. We just always need logs and planks. On day 56, we gathered up a bunch of leather because I wanted to turn this ship into an enchanting boat. So for that, we needed lots and lots of bookshelves, which meant we needed lots of leather, lots of planks still. But from that, we got a bunch of steak as well. So it meant that we weren't going to be eating roast potato for a while. Roast potato? Baked potato. That's it. But there we go. We put all of the bookshelves in, and then we put the enchanting table down. To finish day 57, we AFK'd at the skeleton farm to get some levels to get enchanting. I went and did a little bit of enchanting, and then on day 58 I decided it was finally time to build the sheep an actual pen because they'd been sitting in the little boat next to our houseboat for the longest time. So I first went around, it's a similar process to how the cow one was built. But we went around with andesite stone and cobblestone just to make a really basic wall. And then on top of that, we placed slabs and stairs to make sure they couldn't actually jump out. And then we freed them from the little boat and gave them this, you know, kind of medium-sized cheap enclosure, and then started breeding them up because we needed wool because I kept losing beds. And day 59 we went mining, and then look what happened. That's right, we died twice and almost a third time. The second time, I was on 1.5 hearts. And I lasted quite a while. I'm honestly quite proud of how long I could last on 1.5 hearts. On day 60, we finally moved our chickens out of that little hole and gave them an actual pen. Now this is a trick I learned from Whip's YouTube channel, which I'll link down below because he's an amazing Minecrafter and his builds are insane. But chickens can't jump from one side of the trapdoor to the other when they're flipped up like that. So you can actually make a good looking chicken pen. I just thought it was great. And then on day 61 to 81, we got even more levels from a skeleton farm. And it took forever. Like, the rates of our skeleton farm are so awful that it took that long. And then on day 82, we did a little bit of reorganizing on the houseboat. And day 82, we did more log gathering. On day 83, it was finally time to get some paths going over our islands. And honestly, this is possibly one of the best upgrades that we gave to our island, because it just made it look more like an actual lived on island, and I loved that. But we've still got a way to go to decorate it and make it look more natural. You know, we've got a couple of trees around there, but it just needs something else. On day 84, I enchanted a hoe and got efficiency, unbreaking, and fortune, which is like the best hoe you could possibly ask for. And then I only got efficiency 4 on the axe. I mean, what is that about? But yeah, I wanted the hoe so I could get rid of all of the leaves, so I could get saplings, so that I could replenish our log collection. Because it was just taking forever to get a decent amount of logs. And as you can see, our houseboat is beginning to overflow. You didn't see that, okay? Nobody saw anything. We're just going to ignore that. On day 86, we started prepping a little area for an actual house instead of a houseboat, because I wanted a house that I could sit in and look out over the ocean and just enjoy my 100 days in Minecraft. So here we are laying out the basic foundation for it. So the house hasn't got much in the way of interior currently, but on day 88 I built this little bridge that would take us over this weird little ravine slash cave thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but it's just a funky piece of world generation, and I kind of liked it, so I thought, hey, I'm going to build a tiny little bridge over it. And it wasn't a big enough gap to do an interesting bridge, so I just built this sort of basic wooden one that was like you would just find on a footpath. And on day 88, one of the chickens from a little egg machine had escaped. I didn't actually show me building that, but that's just like this big pointy up stone that's coming out of the ocean, and it's got chickens in it with a hopper underneath and a chest, just so we can get eggs. Not that we'll ever need it. On day 87, we started building this gazebo that I was going to put a hot tub in. Now this was just inspired by something I saw on my Instagram. Follow me, by the way, if you don't. That's Bailz Builds on Instagram. It'll be linked down in the description. But I get lots of building inspiration from Instagram, and very often if I see a cool build, I'll repost it on the gram, as you do. But yeah, I just thought, hey, I'm going to build that in my world. And then on day 87, we built this beautiful little tree. This, again, is from Foot's YouTube channel. Now, it's not quite the same as he builds them, but it's the sort of style of tree I just thought was really, really pretty. And it looked incredibly simple, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. Again, we reorganized the houseboat, and then we got the perfect pickaxe. The only problem was it had fortune 2, not fortune 3. And on day 88, we placed all of our resources down and started mining them. And there we go. You can hear the chickens in the little rock thing. But look how many resources that we get from this. Are you ready? Let me know down in the comments how many you think we're going to get by the end of this. But we got so much coal and copper. Oh, it's just such a beautiful block. I love it so much. On day 89, we headed into the nether to go and mine some quartz for a little project. However, I couldn't find any that was actually accessible, apart from like tiny parts like this. So I just sort of grabbed what I could, and then we returned to the overworld. Now this is what I wanted to use the quartz for, but unfortunately we weren't able to gather enough, so I had to use bone blocks and place them down in a sort of skull shape. Now, it's so hard to make a skull with bone blocks because, you know, with quartz you've got the slab variant, you've got the stair variant, and you can make quite an organic looking shape, but with bone blocks you've just got the bone. So I was aiming for a skull, however it did end up looking more like just a bone blob. And then on day 91 we started plotting out this area so that we could make a space for our llamas, because they've been putting a houseboat for about 60 days now, and I thought they probably want a little bit of a rest and want to chill out in their own little enclosure. So we got working on this, what I thought was actually quite a nice llama pen, and we made a little sheltered area just in case, you know, it rained, and we put down some hay bales so that we could go to sleep on them under the shelter, again, in case it rained at night time, because everyone knows llamas are very, very picky about where they sleep. And I did realise having a hay bale there would mean they were able to get out. So I had to take these fences back and then place them up against the log just to ensure the llamas couldn't escape. By day 92 it was complete and the llamas were in, and I built possibly the most hideous ice cream truck I have ever seen in Minecraft. But I just wanted to test the little concept of having a diorite block and then 2 dripstones that look like an ice cream. And I also felt bad for a little donkey friend that was back on the main island, so I moved him into the llama pen. I know he's not a llama, but you know, I didn't want him to be that lonely. And on day 92 we built possibly my favourite part of this whole island. We built basically a pirate treasury where we stored all of our goods, and I just saw a random dolphin jumping on land, which I just thought was rather strange, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But on day 92 we needed these logs so we could actually build the walls of this treasury, and I wanted to use it to display everything we've gained in the 100 days. All of our valuable items and valuable blocks I wanted to put in there so that, you know, we had a place to flex basically. After gathering all of the logs, we placed a bunch of saplings because I knew that I was going to need some more, and I just was going with a random sort of shape and then building up the sides to, you know, keep it safe from any thieves around, you know, just in case. We also went around and stripped it, added some little fences on top to make it look pointed and more decorative, and then we added 2 wooden trader heads on spikes just to warn the thieves away, just to let them know if they steal anything, that's what's going to happen to them. They also help to keep the bad spirits away from all the valuables in that beautiful chest. On day 93, we were nearing the end of our 100 days, and it was coming very, very fast. On day 94, we did get raided, and I'm telling you, they were coming to steal all of that treasure that we just put on display, so I had to deal with them, you know? On day 95, I went and gathered some seagrass because I wanted some more turtle eggs. Again, no idea why, it's just there were 4 turtles on the beach, and I thought, hey, I want more turtle eggs. Because why not, you know? And then day 97, we displayed random bits of armor and a couple of items that were just hanging about, like a couple of our tools as well. and we even had, well, a full suit of gold armor apart from the helmet. On day 98, we emptied the chicken rock, and that's what it's going to be called now, chicken rock. And then we just splurted chickens everywhere. No idea why. I was just getting stressed because here we are, day 99. We've got one more day left of the 100 days, but I wanted to watch the sunset over day 99 and jump into day 100. And there you have it, guys, 100 days in Minecraft survival as a pirate living on a beautiful little island. Check out all of the things we've built. Now, you may have noticed that halfway through the video, I actually changed my skin, and that is because from now on, it will be our new skin. I know, pretty exciting. We've got a lovely red hoodie, and you will be seeing much more of that skin in future videos. But I hope you will enjoy the video. It took me around 40 plus hours to make, so if you could smash that like button, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe and check out my other videos. But for now, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.